Crafty Mavens, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life, and I am here for a Free Flow Wednesday. Let me see if I can show you this as well as I can. This is the inspiration that is taken from this is our mood board for this week, and I am gonna draw from the pink, purpley color, the blue, and the yellow. So before I get started though, I really wanted to show you what I have to work with. So here is my 2014 album. This is a sweet photo and layout I've created of my niece, and the layout I'm going to create is coming right next to that. So I had to really think about where in my layout this is going, in my album it's going, because I'm almost done with my 2014 album. So, but this is what I'm looking at. So it's very bright and colorful, and it has a bit of mixed media on it and all of that. So this is what I'm working on, and let me now show you where I'm gonna go with it. So my ideas to draw from, I have the purple. This is the pink purple. It's a little more purpley than the actual inspiration piece is a little more pink, but I am drawing from that. This one has all the colors in it, which I really love a lot. And then I also drew from this, and this is probably not the exact same shade, but it works. So this is what I'm working on, and this has that more corally color in it as well. So I want to use these 3 photos to help finish the story from the one of my niece. That one is just talking about how adorable she is. This one is going to actually tell the story of these photos and a trip I took to visit my sister in Victoria. So my kind of initial idea here is to do something probably along the lines of this, maybe, where it's layering up and kind of go into the diagonal, because again, I know that my layout is going to be on the left hand side. So I kind of just wanted to show you where my head was at with this, and I will get into my layout, into fast forward for you. Here is one more quick look at the inspiration that I'm using, and I'll get you guys on fast forward. Thanks everyone. So you're going to start with, I'm going to actually show you how I did my layering for this. Normally this is something I would cut out of my videos because it's quite boring to watch people tape things, right? But I wanted to just kind of show you how I'm doing it, just in case someone was wondering. I mean, I know we're all pretty savvy in our ways of doing this, but I just thought I'd leave it in this time. So I simply just try to match it up and leave just like one part of the circle on it and tape it. This is, these pattern papers are from a 12 by 12 paper stack, and as I'm sure you all know, those pieces of pattern paper don't tend to be of the thickest quality. So, and I'm not planning on using, these are very bright colors and not actually something I normally scrap with, so I'm not worried about the fact that I'm using up paper that you can't see. So I do keep them mostly just for the thickness though, because that keeps my layout being nice and thick, and it would be 3 layers of one of these pattern papers are like 1 layer of normal pattern paper that we get when you go and just get the actual manufacturer's thing of it. Wow, that was a long rant, sorry. So I'm going to show you both of them, and then I line them up and I trim them, and it just works out really well. So while you're watching that, I want to remind you that our Crafty Maven crop that we hosted last weekend, the challenges are still in effect right now, and you can submit them all until the 26th, I believe, at midnight Eastern Standard Time. A few of the challenges have prizes attached to them. And I believe when you go to our Facebook group and you go into the actual photo albums, the description tells you whether it's a prize or not. But there are some great challenges, and it was a lot of fun. So if you haven't had a chance yet, just keep in mind you have until the 26th to get all of your entries in for that. And let's see, I should just be about done with all of that. I know maybe I should have trimmed it out, but I didn't. So here we go. That is the base of my layout. So I'm going to
pile on my photos, and there are 3 photos from the same event, and as I showed you before where I was lining this up, it is of a trip I took to the island, which is Vancouver Island in Canada, and I was visiting my sister. My nephews had a football game, and so I got to hang out with my sister and my niece, and we just had a lot of fun. So that is what this layout is about. I did take this piece of transparency and I decided I was going to do a side border frame for it. So the one of Kira gets it, and then the photo of Kira and Jackson also will get the other side. And I just make sure that it matches up and it looks good. It is a silver transparency, and I can't tell you who made it because I put all my transparencies together and I don't actually recognize which one that's from. I then finally figured out a way to use that fun from the Journey Collection ephemera pack. I was looking at those and I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to use that in a layout, but I was able to do that with this title. So it's a big long title and I'm calling it So Much Fun, So Little Time. The reason why I called it that is this was a day trip. So in order to get there, you have to take a ferry, and it's an 1.5 hour long ferry. My son was 3.5 months at the time, I believe. I think that's about right. He was 3.5 or 4 months at the time. And yeah, that was a long ferry ride. The ride there wasn't so bad. It's still early enough in the morning and everything was good. My sister then picked me up at the ferry. We rushed to the football game, watched the game. My oldest nephew had a hockey thing that we dropped him off at, and then we had I think we had dinner and then rushed back to the last ferry of the day, got on that, and then I had to drive home from the ferry, and that is another like half an hour drive at least. So it was a long day, but it was so much fun, and I loved being able to hang out with my niece and my sister. So well worth it. It's not something I do every day though. So what you saw as I was jabbering away there is I'm trying these 4 different frames to see which one I want to use. I really wanted to use that bright yellow one to help bring in some of the colors from the mood board, but in the end it wasn't really working. It was a little too small of a frame to begin with, but then it just wasn't really working. I do add a little bow to Kira's photo. She had this really cute headband that had a bow on it as well, but I wanted to bring a little more of the glitter from the word fun into the layout, so I just used the bow there. I also add that little pink bicycle there, more just because it kind of represents movement and doing stuff, and so I put it there and it matched, and I have no idea how else I would use that on a layout, so that went there. I put a brad on one of the O's, and then I will put a button on the other O, but you'll see that in a minute. And then I add 2 little birdies, and that's my layout. I'm now just showing you my thought process on doing my journaling. So I had a little bit of journaling done on Kira's layout, but I wasn't sure what I want to do it. So I'm thinking right now I'm either going to put it right there in the blue, or I'm going to line it up on the side down there. And you're going to see in my close-ups, I line it up on the side down there. So that is my layout, everyone. Thanks so much for watching, and I will be back really soon. Bye!